Well, guys, exciting day today because the first wedge got ground on the new grinding setup at TEJ HQ. Now, I've always had this grinder, but I finally have a decent dust collection system, so I'm not breathing in copious amounts of metal shavings, which is probably a good thing. Before we get into what we did today, maybe somebody could help me with this. The motor on my grinder is getting extremely hot to the point where I'm a little worried it's going to explode in my face, which would not be a good thing. You know, I have other wedges to grind, so maybe somebody could help point me in the right direction. But anyway, let's get into what we did today. We started with an S grind, 54 degree, what you can see, pretty full sole, a little bit of relief on the trail edge, nothing on the leading edge. And it's not like this wedge was causing me insane amounts of trouble, but there are three things that I wanted to take care of. So what you're going to notice, like I said, not much relief back here. An M grind would obviously be a better place to start, but I don't have one, so it is what it is. Wanted to add some relief. Then from there, when you're an OEM putting stuff out of retail, you basically have to be able to show consumers the differences in products. And so you'll always notice very distinct edges on grinds to make sure when a consumer picks it up, they can see a difference. And on this S grind, what you have is this little V here, okay? And it creates a high point. If you don't lean the shaft a lot on a certain shot, this high point will touch the turf before you can get the leading edge in close to the golf ball, and you are effectively chunking it. So I wanted to remove the high point. And then from there, when you start leaning this leading edge, because there's no relief on it, it can easily dig into the ground if you're not careful. So I wanted to add a little bit of a bevel there and kind of save myself. So we took an old S grind and did a little bit of work to it. You can see we flattened out that high spot. We added a touch more relief here. And then on the leading edge, it kind of rolls up a little bit more into the first part of the sole versus on the standard S grind, it's very straight into the sole. Obviously, we need to polish this thing a lot. It kind of looks like shit, but the grind itself seems like it's going to work pretty well. So we'll get out there tomorrow, hopefully, and test it. Course is closed today. But the reason I'm doing this is because this fine-tuned custom has been one of the best wedge grinds I've ever tested in my life, and I'm trying to kind of replicate everything after this. So what you can see, very narrow sole, very flat sole. There's a touch of relief in the heel, on the toe, on the trail edge. The main issue with this thing, the leading edge is so insanely sharp. It is legitimately like a knife and a half. And on Bermuda, as soon as it snags, you're fucked. And I don't want to grind it because you can see this plate goes all the way up into the edge. I don't want to screw it up. I think what I'm going to do is take this T-grind, remove the ribbon, add a leading edge bevel. That should be pretty nice. I really like this Mizuno Pro T3 C grind. You can see you got that leading edge bevel. The main issue is, again, you have that high point. The other thing I might do is also either move to a TW grind. Unfortunately, they don't make it in a 58, but you can see you got that leading edge bevel. And the sole is very flat back here in the sense that there's no high point. Or ideally, it'd be nice to take like a Vokey A grind and do the same thing to the leading edge. The A grind is just the L grind, but all they do is they flatten out the ribbon right here, so there is no longer a high point. You're probably thinking, well, then a K-Star sounds right up your alley. This thing is sick, don't get me wrong. It's just wider than I would like. I'd rather take an A and do basically the same thing.